Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and I happen to have Dolores with me today. Hello.
Hello.
So we were getting ready for our upcoming trip to Disney, and it got me thinking about the fact that there's a lot of people out there that just aren't prepared for their trip. And I thought, man, what a great subject we could do on possibly mistakes that people make whenever they're planning their Disney World trip for the first time. Um, Number one, wear comfortable shoes. Like we've seen that happen. People think, oh, I'll buy these new shoes. They're so cute. These flip flops are brand new. I got to break them in anyway. I might as well wear them. I've made that mistake. Uh, I don't need socks because I don't wear them when I'm at home. Oh, you will need them when you put in some miles. But comfortable shoes is probably the number one thing that I think of. What do you think of?
It's way bigger. I mean, I think
The
people,
size?
the size of it, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't, would you say we're seasoned
Yes,
veterans?
I'd say
I
we're
don't,
seasoned.
there's people that go way more than we do.
Yeah, okay. I
I mean, there
mean, but
is.
still, we've been more than the average bear.
Yes,
Well,
we
not
have
that bears
been.
go very often to Disney, but you know what I mean.
I think for somebody who goes first time, they think it's vacation. I'm just going to wing it.
Right,
Disney is not a wing it place
right.
at
Because
all.
there's a few, I don't know, 100,000 other people thinking the same thing, maybe.
Right. Right.
Or a good half of those have planned. So then when you go up to number one on the list here, when I Googled it, it says not making dinner reservations is the biggest mistake.
Yes.
And I agree. I think you need to plan, and that's where you come in because you like to plan this stuff ahead of time. You'll find all the particulars of when do we need to plan, where do we want to eat, what day are we going to be there, and I wish I could show people like how organized you have it, but it's a lot of it's in your brain.
Well, yes, but also too, I use a travel agent.
Yeah.
I did not use a travel agent for many years. I did it all on my own, and I started listening to podcasts, different Disney podcasts, and it just so happened that one of the podcasts I was listening to regularly, weekly, was a podcast that was a travel agent. It was four or five travel agents that got together every week and talked about Disney stuff or Universal, just vacations in general. They talk about cruises, but one of the things that they talked about was how a travel agent, and it doesn't matter who you use, find somebody that you can communicate with well and let that person work for you. Because once I realized that the price was the exact same, what I was going online and booking for our hotel and tickets, park tickets, was the exact same. There was no markup for the travel agent. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the travel agent is getting a discount from Disney on the back end, but as long as I'm still paying the exact same price and that person is doing all the work.
Yeah, it's almost like they're overcharging you if you think you can do it all yourself, and yet they're paying a travel agent to help you have a magical experience by doing all the legwork because again, they're probably giving them a discounted rate so that they make a profit on being the travel agent. But it kind of lets you know that if you book your own, you're sort of making a mistake because you're not utilizing the tools that are available to you and you're not saving any money by doing it
Well,
the other way.
I have found when I used to book on my own, when I used to book our trips on my own, I would set my reminders for X
6
amount of,
a.m.
well, whatever amount of time. It's varied over the years. You can
Yeah.
make your dining reservations first, and then you can pick your multi pass and things like that earlier. That's just changed in the past year, but the travel agent knows all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing a travel agent can do is if you book a trip with them, and let's just say, for instance, you're 6 months out, 8 months out. If a discount comes out, you have to, if you're going to get that discount, if you were to do it online yourself, you have to cancel your reservations and turn around and rebook to get that discount. You cannot go in and apply it to an existing reservation. A travel agent can do that. So, and we've actually had that happen. We last year were booked for a certain time. We had booked it months in advance. We picked out our time in December. We wanted to go during Christmas vacation, decorations, that kind of stuff. And an offer came out that was free food for the week for Disney Visa card holders. And that's what we use as our points on our Disney Visa to go all the time. And I would have had to cancel the trip and rebooked and risk the fact of not getting the dates that we wanted, where she was able to apply the discount and it worked. I have tried many times to get reservations on my own at certain places 90 days out whenever our time would go live. And I had not been successful at getting certain ones.
Yeah.
The minute I started using the person that I use now, I can tell her, she will ask me the minute I book, okay, let's get a game plan. What are you wanting to achieve on this trip? Where are your places you want to eat? Because she's learned me now to know that we do something different every time. We want to incorporate different restaurants. And she usually, I don't think she's ever not been able to get a reservation for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's
and if
because
like one day is busier than the other, she'll say, well, I can't get it for this day, but if we move it to this day, we can definitely do that. And I mean, she's looking at all those variables in a way that is harder for us just by ourselves, because again, we have a job we're doing every day, and
well, and also too,
and this is her job. Like
right.
she's spending time like we would normally spend at our jobs,
yep.
doing all this legwork and trying to figure this stuff out, which in the past you did, and it made you crazy.
Well, and also too, I think travel agents probably get a little bit of a window time before.
A little bit of availability.
Right. I mean, like almost, I would think that, and I don't know this for sure, but maybe like they can put in a request. Yeah, my client wants these days at these places for reservations, and they will let you know whether or not it's going to work. And then when you go live, then she books them the minute you're able to. But I have thoroughly enjoyed using a travel agent. Now, there's still a lot of things that I do on my own.
Yeah, but the dinner reservations is super helpful.
The dinner reservations are super helpful. Yeah. She has definitely helped us get into places.
There's nothing worse than being exhausted at the end of your day and you're like, man, I would really like to get a bite to eat. And you go up to the stand and go, how long is the wait? And they go, 3 hours. You're like, what? 3 hours? What? And then you end up eating somewhere you don't want to eat because you're
not
like,
planning,
I guess we'll just grab this.
I think is a lot of people think that they can just go in and wing it. It is, it's a little more complicated than that. I think a lot of people go in and get there and get overwhelmed when they realize how big it is, how much walking. I don't think people go in prepared for the amount of walking and standing that you have to do. Even I am the kind of person that tries to ramp myself up by doing a lot more walking at home.
We're walking right now on a regular basis just to get our stamina up.
Well, I walk on a regular basis, period, but I try to ramp it up a little more. Like right now, it's already gotten extremely warm outside, but I know that the miles that I walk or that we walk prior to this vacation need to be done outside for preparation of how hot it's going to be.
You got to train for vacation, buddy. You can't take it lightly.
Well, I mean, it's like I say, it's a lot. I think that's where people.
Well, yeah. In the past, I mean, we've averaged about 15, 16 miles a day walking.
Probably on average, yes.
Yeah. I mean, and if you go from.
And not to mention the standing. You do you're on your feet a lot.
So if you go from not doing 15 or so miles a day to doing that, it's going to kick your butt.
It is going to kick your butt.
Yeah. And you don't want to spend a whole day just being like, and now I can't do today because I'm so sore from yesterday. So yeah, not making dinner reservations, number one, which folded into using a travel agent. Number two, it says not downloading the My Disney Experience app. Now, with the app, we found a lot of advantages, whether it's, mobile ordering food or whether it's looking at our wait times,
checking in.
I
mean, we don't even go to the front desk anymore.
Yeah, I mean, now
although I did hear on a podcast that you know how we use the app to tell us when our room's ready?
Yeah.
And normally check-in, I think it's 3 p.m. Check-in's 3 p.m. I want to say almost hands down, we've always been able to get in our room before 3 p.m.
Usually until this.
1. Yes, right. And this last time we went down early, but we went shopping somewhere else.
Yep.
So our room was ready and we did not get there for many hours because we were busy doing other stuff. But I've read or I've heard that if you go to the front desk anyway, that sometimes you can be, if you check in and your room's not ready, at the front desk, they can not necessarily upgrade you, but like move you to a different section. Because we usually, what we
Depending
stay,
upon how they clean,
right,
maybe,
right. We
and
stay at the same
availability.
hotel every time now
Yeah.
because I feel like we've done enough of trying the different resorts, and now we've landed on the one that we like best for the price,
Yeah.
for the location,
Well, I still haven't stayed at the Contemporary, but that's in the future.
and for the cost of the what you get for transportation.
Oh yeah.
We have found our favorite resort.
Yeah.
Um,
It
this
it
time,
fits good with us.
if it's good, it's a good fit for us. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, with your app, I mean, we're always looking at wait times and to find out if a ride is down for maybe some error that's happened, some problem with it. It constantly gives you updates on that, and maybe you're at one park and you've got a park hopper and you can check out the other parks to see what's going on over there. Maybe you could decide to bounce over there and go. I mean, and that app really helps you see a lot of that stuff. Plus, you have the photo ability to look at your photos on your photo app. It's on the My Disney app. So, I mean, that's one another thing you can look at and be like, oh, look,
Yes, but you
we
have
got
to
our photos
purchase
from
that.
here. Yeah, you need to purchase that ahead of time, save you money.
Oh yeah, you definitely save money purchasing that ahead of time.
It's a big savings too.
Yeah, it's about $35 or $40 off.
Yeah. They had number three is not wearing comfortable shoes, which we talked about.
And
I
not
made
wearing
them
comfortable shoes slash only taking one pair of shoes for a week,
right.
for not even for a week. If you're down there for 4 days, you want to do a park a day, it can be done. Don't get me wrong, you can do all 4 parks in one day. It can be done. Do not go down there with just one pair of shoes
Yeah.
because it is Florida. It is going
Yes.
to, you're going to have
It's
some
gonna rain.
afternoon, you're going to have some showers.
And if it doesn't rain, you're just gonna be hot and sweat a lot. And then you put on those hot, sweaty, stinky shoes the next day, and you're gonna be like, man, I wish I had a dry pair. This would be great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't ever go with just one pair of shoes.
And I made the mistake of we weren't going in the park, we were going to Disney Springs, but I wore some brand new flip flops thinking, oh, these are comfortable in the past. My old ones are comfortable. I'll just break these in. Yeah, they broke me in.
Yes.
That was a mistake. So yeah. Number four, it says over planning. That's a big deal because sometimes people plan things like to the T, and
Right.
then they get in a situation where maybe they miss a dinner reservation because they're waiting for a certain ride, or vice versa. Oh, we got to go get this dinner reservation. We can't make this ride that we had, and then
Right.
you can't
Yes.
fit it all in, and it makes you frustrated.
Well, it overwhelms you
Yeah,
because there are a lot. It's a large place. There are a lot of people, and yes, you can definitely pack too much into a day, and that may not happen to you the first day because you're so excited and it's the first day of your vacation.
and you walk faster.
But come second day, that's when the miles from the first day hit you.
Yeah, and you need to factor in mistake time or rest time or whatever you want to call it, room for error. Hey, we're making this fast pass, but the next one is like 10 minutes later and it's across the park. Probably not going to make it. Let's book that. Maybe give yourself an hour. That way you have time to go to the bathroom and freshen up and that sort of thing. I mean, if you find yourself running through the park to make your fast pass times or your lightning lane times, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna be just frustrated all day. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Number five, it says forgetting baby essentials. Ooh, that's important. So a lot of people think that, hey, it's just like me going to Target. I'm just going to grab this and this, and they'll be fine. Need to bring extra pairs of clothes, extra wipes, extra everything. Just be prepared because there's always going to be things you didn't think about. Number one, sunscreen
Yes.
and plenty to drink. Now, a lot of people don't know it, but if you go up to the counter, you can ask them for ice water or ice or water.
Any food, any of the food.
Any of the food places,
Yeah.
and water and ice are free. Okay. Some people are like, I gotta bring my bottled water. No, you don't have to bring your bottled water. You can bring a empty bottle, and then they have bottle filling stations around.
But you can bring in bottled water. You can bring
Yeah.
in any food items.
Yeah. Except for
Or
alcohol
you can't bring in alcohol and
Yeah.
nothing. You cannot bring in any glass.
and no loose ice,
I just read this just
which you just read
recently.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot bring in any loose ice or dry dry ice.
Well, yeah, that'll hurt people.
Well, I mean, I didn't get the loose ice though. I don't really understand that. I mean,
I don't know.
I get ice packs, okay, but if you're staying in a Disney resort, they do not, a lot of their locations, a lot of their resort rooms do not have refrigerators, they have beverage coolers.
And they have ice machines.
They loose ice. That's not doing you any good.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
So
it does
then,
in the room, but it
so then
doesn't.
get in the park and then ask for some ice.
I guess, like I say, I would have never thought that if you took in baby formula, for instance, that you could not take a little soft pack cooler with some loose ice in baby bottles. I didn't know you couldn't do that.
Also, be prepared for the heat. So if you don't have a fan for your stroller, maybe plan for a fan on your stroller. If you plan on using your phone to entertain your kid, then bring an extra charger with some of those battery packs, possibly.
But now they've also done a very good job of adding charging places all over
Yeah.
because they've driven everybody to their phone with the My Disney Experience app.
Yep.
With that, they know that people are going to need to charge. So I've noticed that they've swapped out a lot of places where you could, like on a lot of the benches now have added ports where you can charge.
Yeah. All right. So with that, again, extra diapers, extra wipes, all that sort of stuff. Make sure you have with you a change of clothes because you're going to get dirty. At some point, the kid's going to have an accident. And you're going to need extra clothes,
Or the kids,
or the kid's going to have an accident on you. You need extra clothes,
or they're going to have a meltdown.
or they're going to have a meltdown. And it's time to leave. It's time to take a break.
And I think that's where the one thing that I see that I get the most frustrated with people with smaller children and a smaller child having a major meltdown and the parent getting just completely
Upset
and mad. And I don't I don't know if people are determined because they have spent so much money.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's almost like they're telling the kid,
Hey, get off your routine. Do what I want to do.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy this because
I've paid a
lot of money for this. But
yeah,
one thing that I don't think a lot of parents think about is the fact that is very overwhelming for a small child.
Yep.
It is a lot of stimulation. There's a lot going on.
And kids don't want to miss anything either. So like we've been in line before where kids have had accidents and then they just immediately have a breakdown and be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And they pee their pants or something. And you're like, it's okay. It happens. Like,
yes.
But you can tell like that go attitude has just been there all day. And it's like, oh, we forget the little things. We forget to check in once in a while and be like, hey, let's have a bathroom break. Hey,
I would say for anybody with children, number one, never underestimate the power of a stroller.
Yep.
And
even if they're
older
and it seems to be okay, plan the stroller because they're going to get tired and then you really don't want to carry them around.
You don't want to rent a stroller for a 5-year-old. Yeah. To me, it's well worth the money to rent a stroller for a 5-year-old. I listened to a TikTok the other day of a woman who takes her kids every year, and I think her kids are like 4 and 6, and she rented the double stroller. And she was sitting on the balcony in a hotel on the boardwalk, enjoying a cup of coffee. Her kids were still asleep that morning, and she was like, "You can come after me if you want. I rented the double stroller for the week, and she said, I see people give me the look because my 6-year-old sitting in a stroller, and she's like, I don't care. I do not care. She said, I went into Epcot last night with my 2 thinking, oh, it's a short walk. We'll just walk over there. We'll grab a snack and then we'll sit down somewhere for
Epcot's huge.
They were going to walk to the Mexico pavilion to get some chips and salsa. Mm-hmm. She said, and then just find a bench, sit down for the fireworks. She said, yeah, we barely made it in the back gate, and both of them, because even with naps, they were tired.
Yeah.
And she was like, I wish I had not left the double stroller in the room.
But also toughen up your 6-year-old. Come on.
No, I don't see that. I mean, I don't get that. It's
come on.
They're 6. They're not used to walking 10 miles a day. Get them used
to it. That's why you got to prepare. Get them on the treadmill. No, I'm just kidding. But okay, so past that, number 6, not understanding the virtual queue.
That's there's no more of those, so don't worry about it.
Everybody's confused with the whole Lightning Lane experience. That is the new
No,
thing.
virtual queue and lightning lane are two different
I
things.
know. I'm just telling people go online and see what the new thing is and do your research. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, there are no virtual queues right now. That's gone.
It's Lightning Lane now, right? By pay.
It is multi-pass
Multipass.
and it's
Lilu
individual.
Dallas.
It's single pass,
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
multi-pass and single pass.
Out of the Fifth Element. I like it. So yeah, do some research, learn about it. It's pretty easy. You can actually plan a couple of weeks ahead what you want to do. There's some great videos out there on TikTok and every other social media. We watched a great one the other day. It was really helpful. Number 7, don't make the mistake of skipping rope drop. If you think you want to ride this new popular ride and avoid all these crazy lines and crazy people, go early. Be there early. You can avoid a whole lot of frustration just by being the person that gets there at rope drop and running to the, or not running, but quickly making your way
And
to the ride you want to ride.
if you stay in a Disney resort, you get early entry.
Yeah, and let's just say you have a kid, okay, and they're used to getting up any early anyway. Take the kid with you, enjoy the ride, do a swap where you can hand off your kid to the other parent and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna ride this," and then you get to ride it. What's it called?
Parent swap.
Parent swap. Yeah, you can do a parent swap on the rides. But that way you get to ride the ride you want to ride early before it gets hot, before it gets crazy. Because a lot of people are going to have character breakfasts and then they're going to go back to the room and they're going to get ready and then they're going to casually make their way there about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And we'll wave at them. We're like, hey, because we're in the same line.
We
Days.
we don't rope drop.
No, we don't anymore. But it is a good way you can avoid the heat of the day. You can avoid the crowds. You can kind of, maximize your experience. And then when it suddenly gets so hot during the middle of the day, you go, hey, let's go back to the room and take a break, take a nap, maybe play in the pool for a little while and then come back later and watch fireworks. You get to avoid the hottest part of the day, the busiest part of the day with all the other crazy people.
Oh, if I had small children, that's what I would do. If I had small children,
do early and then
I would
come
get
back
up
later.
super early. I would, because
Yep.
I would get up super early. I would be there for early entry because I'm going to stay on in a Disney resort.
I kind of miss naps.
I'm going to do early entry, ride some rides, and around lunch, I am going back to the room.
Yeah.
Eat lunch in the room and play in the pool for a little bit, take a nap, and then I'm coming back into the park around
refreshed.
Yes, around
new shoes.
I would say I would
different
go
shoes.
Yeah, different shoes. Probably 4 o'clock. I would be back in the park.
Yep.
By that time, people that started off early
now they're going, hey, we got to make dinner. Let's get out of here and go back and get showered up for dinner. And then you can kind of go ride some more rides because it's going to thin out a little bit.
Right.
And then everybody's going to come back in to watch the fireworks.
Yes.
But that way you're rested and you're not sitting there after doing a 14-hour marathon of a day, tired, exhausted, hungry, and then going, we got to stay here for the fireworks. If we didn't do it, we didn't do the whole thing. No, just plan extra days, plan extra time.
Well, I mean, even us with no children, we travel down there with no children at all anymore, and we still we don't do open to close.
No, we tend to go there a little bit later.
Yes.
All right, number 8 says not preparing for the heat is a mistake. That's true.
Most
Florida
definitely
can have days even in the wintertime where it's a little hot. You're like, geez, I thought it was supposed to be cold. This is a hot day. We'll be going in May. We already know ahead of time May is going to be hot.
It's going to be blistering hot.
Yeah. So make sure you have plenty to drink. Stay hydrated. Stay ahead of it. Don't get to the point where you're like, oh, now I feel dizzy. It's too late then. Constantly drink water. You're going to be sweating more than you think. Okay. The fans are really nice. Some of the queues are indoors, which is really nice. But still, it's not going to replace the amount of fluids that you're going to lose. So be prepared.
I would say on those kind of days, especially whenever you're reaching the 85 plus degree temperature, you need to plan to do more of or normally most people try to skip a lot of the sit down type things. Mm-hmm. Where you watch a show or something, people tend to skip that for the ride, the rides, the thrill rides. Mm-hmm. On days when it's that kind of temperature, you need to plan those more often so that you can go in a place and sit down for 20, 30 minutes in the air condition.
That's what some of the shows are for.
Exactly. That's what
they're
there
for. Help you cool off a little bit and sit back and just, air conditioner. Yay.
Take advantage of the different things they've put in that incorporates water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, there's water stuff at every park,
Yep,
and
there's
that's there just for
misters.
you to enjoy it.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, and then the last one they have on the list here is don't make the mistake of skipping the early lightning lane reservations. Try to get those because your busier, more popular rides are going to fill up first, and you may not get a chance to ride them if that's the reason that you went. So if you want to get on those rides, make sure you plan them early.
Well, that's the new thing this year.
Yeah,
Last year, when we went in December, you could only purchase the multi pass or single pass day of.
yeah.
Now you can purchase it 7 days out. We check in on May 17th. So our reservations, we have the option. You don't have to do it. We have
Mhm.
the option of being able to book those things on May 10th for the whole week. And I'm going to do it now. Normally, the travel agent would do it for me,
Mhm.
but it's a Saturday. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do it myself.
Okay.
I mean, mainly because I'm not really after a certain ride. We've rode everything there is to ride.
Right. This is more for getting to enjoy it with our grandson.
Yeah, I mean, this is more for just grabbing, one or two rides that
Yeah.
we just want to make sure that we're able to ride while we're there.
Yeah.
So
So I think this will help other people out there if maybe they're planning their first big trip to Disney or if they're planning their trip with Disney with small children. Again, I just wanted to kind of talk about it because this is something we talk about more than the average person does. And I thought, I wonder if people actually even think about this stuff. So I kind of wanted to do a podcast about it.
I think anybody that's been once most definitely thinks about it because you know what to expect.
Yeah. Well, and also just like you said, the grand scope and size of things. Sometimes people don't understand just how big everything is. And as we're
Well,
moving
now
in,
that's at Disney World in Orlando. I mean,
yeah,
because I've listened to podcasts of people or seen TikToks of people that go, they're Anaheim people. They are Disneyland people.
yeah,
And Disneyland
and they
and
think it's the same thing, and
yeah,
it's not.
the two parks in California are literally right across the I don't know, it's not a street, but they are side by side, right
Yeah,
across from each other.
yeah,
Walking distance within, I mean, you could probably throw a rock and hit the gates of each one. And that is not the case in Orlando.
right.
Orlando's 43 square miles, 44 square miles. I mean, it's a massive area.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah.
not you're not walking that one quickly.
Well, and also like with the summertime coming up, maybe it's advantageous for people to plan a day at one of the water parks, like broken up in between the week, to just have a day of planning of let's just spend all day here at the water park and then just splash around and kind of cool off.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be your excuse to have a rest day. Um, or in our case, we're going to plan a day to stay in the room and just kind of chill by the pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we can't stay in the room and chill by the pool.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
The pool near the resort where we're staying at.
Right.
Right. So, anyway, I feel good about that. I wanted to help people and I feel like I did. Do you feel good about it?
Sure.
Sure. She's like, whatever. I'm
Whatever.
just along for the ride. This is fine. Drag me in here kicking and screaming the whole way. Yeah, I get it.
Nah.
So yeah. Thank you to everybody who listens. Thank you everybody who's watching. You got anything local to promote?
Local to promote?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Not this. Well, I don't usually do I.
Well, I keep asking because maybe you have something you're like, I would like to talk about, blah, 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 blah. You never know. I want to talk about Buddy Burger.
I want to talk about the rail trails.
The rail trail is attached to Buddy Burger.
Yeah, they are attached
Kind
to
of.
Buddy's
The rail,
Burgers.
when we talked about the rail trail last week, but also like they've done some renovations and part
I've
of
been
the
on
rail
the rail
trail
trail a lot in the last
extends
couple
a lot
weeks.
further out.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're getting in your test miles for
I
Disney.
just wish they would do something to the original portion of the rail trail, the part that we walked on yesterday that starts at Ebenezer at the.
Well, there's a little bit of erosion.
Yes, a
and
little bit.
And the walkway needs a little cleaning up,
Yeah.
a little bit. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, Buddy Burger, really nice burgers. It's right there in the heart of Florence, and there's a nice ice cream shop next door and a little brewery
There was
place.
a lot of families out.
There's a big
Friday.
park area for the kids to play at. Yeah, it's always a nice time.
Yeah.
And their burgers are fantastic. So shout out to Buddy Burger. If you're ever in Florence, South Carolina, check them out.
I wonder who all of that property where all the picnic tables belongs to.
I think it's the people who own Bicycle World.
The Naturally Outdoors.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think it's all owned by whoever that family is.
They've done a really good job of making that nice for families.
Hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, we've seen people out there with blankets on the ground doing like picnic
Hmm.
type.
Throwing frisbees, kicking balls, throwing balls.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it was really nice.
Yeah. And people bring their doggies out and they put doggy bowls out for water and stuff like that. So yeah, it's cool.
Have you been by the any construction to see what's going on at the old Hardee's or the Schlossky's Deli?
It's getting painted white. So I don't know what the building's gonna be, but
The one that used to be the old Hardee's, right?
yep. Yep.
Hmm.
It seems like whatever they're gonna do on the outside is done and they're painting it. I don't know what they're doing on the inside. But yeah.
Look forward to seeing what those two places are going to be.
Yeah. It'll be another chicken place. We
I'm
don't have
sure.
enough chicken places. Maybe it'll be a chicken salad chick
Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't
with a drive through.
it?
A guy can wish. Come on, man.
That would be nice.
I was explaining that to somebody this week about what chicken salad chick was, and they were like, "So it's just chicken salads?"
See, I was
And I was
having the
like,
same
"Yeah."
conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago. They'd never heard of the place, and I was just going on and on about it. I was like, well, God, there's two in Columbia. They are fantastic. And they were like, oh my gosh, I
They got them
think
in Myrtle Beach. They got them in
do they have them in Myrtle Beach?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, Myrtle's Inlet, and one in North.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Um.
I love chicken salad chick. Now that would be dangerous to get one of those in this town because while their chicken salad is good,
It's expensive.
they think very highly of it.
Well, they do a good job, so
They do.
maybe we'll get lucky enough. You figure with them all around us, they'd eventually just put one here. So
You would think the way this town's growing.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you to everybody who listens. Appreciate it. Please remember to rate, review, share with your friends, and as always, cue the cow.
Cue the cow. Moo, baby.